Good morning everybody and welcome back to the channel. Finally, the Stanley Cup Final 2023 is set. We will see the Florida Panthers against the Vegas Golden Knights. Of course, it's two southern teams facing each other, and we will 100% have a new Stanley Cup champion, and one series, can you call it a series, will break because both teams played one Stanley Cup Final in their history. The Panthers, of course, in 1996 lost against the Colorado Avalanche, and the Vegas Golden Knights in 2018 losing against the Washington Capitals. So one of these two teams will have a series of two Stanley Cup Final losses in a row, and one will be the new Stanley Cup champion. So let's have a little look into the details. I have made a board with the basic information about the series. Of course, it will be the Florida Panthers, who ended up 17th in the regular season standing. So if we would have had a 1-against-16 setup that the NHL once had, the Panthers would not have been in the playoffs. Now they're in the final. They had a regular season, ended up 42, 32, and 8 with 92 points. As mentioned, 17th in the overall standing, 8th in the Eastern Conference standing. Their way into the final was, for Florida fans, I think a pretty cool one. First round, they faced the President's Trophy winning, record-setting Boston Bruins. They were down 3-1, then came back in overtime in Game 5, and of course, this game was the turning point of the playoffs of the Panthers. They ended up winning this game and the next one as well, knocking out the favorites, the President's Trophy winning, record-setting Boston Bruins in 7 games. Then it was easy peasy for them, basically. They found their game, they found their rhythm. They went into Toronto, the next opponent, the Maple Leafs, who were 5th in the overall standing. Won Game 1, Game 2, Game 3, then they lost Game 4 at home, but they closed it out on the road. 4-1 in the series against the Leafs. The conference final, even clearer. This epic Game 1, which was ended by Matthew Tkachuk after 19 minutes in the 4th overtime. So this was more than 2 games played. It was almost 7 periods being played. Thereafter, it was pretty easy again. At least it looked pretty easy. Of course, it was hard because Carolina tried its best. But the Panthers swept the second place in the standing Carolina Hurricanes 4-0. Their leading scorers. Matthew Tkachuk, of course, 9 goals, 12 assists for 21 points. He had so many important goals, overtime goals. In case the Panthers win, Matthew Tkachuk is definitely one of the 2 candidates for the Conn Smythe Trophy. Then there's Kavier Verhaeghe, 6 goals, 9 assists, 15 points. Also important goals, always there, always dangerous. Fantastic season, fantastic series for Kavier Verhaeghe. Alex Barkov, the captain, 4 goals, 10 assists for 14 points. No slouch either. Once he went down to injury, but came back right away in the next game. A warrior, a leader, a captain, Barkov, one of the more important pieces of the Florida Panthers. And then there's of course Sam Reinhart, who had 7 goals, 4 assists for 11 points in the 16 games played. Very good point per game ratio, very important player, and he did it really, really good this year in the playoffs. Their goaltending. There's the guy, the other candidate for the Conn Smythe Trophy in case the Panthers win, Sergei Bobrovsky, who went 11-2 in these playoffs with a .935 save percentage and a 2.21 goals against average. Interesting, Bobrovsky was not the starter when the playoffs began. The first 3 games against Boston, Alex Lyon was the starter. Then Bobrovsky took over, and from there it's history. They went cruising. No, they didn't go cruising. They found their game and played it to perfection. Bobrovsky, a wall, especially against Carolina and against Toronto. Fantastic series. He is definitely a Conn Smythe candidate in case the Panthers win it. On the Vegas side, the Knights were 5th in the overall standing, and they were the winners of the Western Conference, so the top seed. They went 51, 22, and 9 in the regular season for 111 points. That's pretty good. In round 1, they faced the Winnipeg Jets, who were 14th in the overall standing, lost game 1, but then beat them 4 straight, 4-1 series victory against the Jets. Round 2, it was the Edmonton Oilers, who were 6th overall in the standing of the regular season. The Knights won 4-2. It was 1 up, 1 down for the first 4 games, and then Vegas decided, okay, we will go for it. They took game 5, they took game 6, and went to the conference final, where they faced the Dallas Stars. The Stars 8th overall in the standing in the regular season. And Vegas won the first 3 games, then lost game 4 and game 5. But then in game 6, it was a 5-0, 6-0. Okay, sorry, I had to look up the results. Game 6 then was a 6-0 victory by the Vegas Golden Knights in Dallas to advance to the Stanley Cup Final. Vegas' top scorers: Jack Eichel, 6 goals, 12 assists, 18 points. His first real appearance in the playoffs. No, his first appearance in the playoffs. He did pretty good. Leader of the team, first line center. Yeah, we knew that Eichel was a great player. Maybe these little character issues that he showed by when he came back to Buffalo for the first time. And I still have this in my head, what he said about Sabres, about the Sabres and the Sabres fans. Yeah, it has a little bit of a taste along it, but he's a great player and doing very good for Vegas right now. Jonathan Marchessault, 9 goals, 8 assists, 17 points. Of course, we remember the hat-trick he had in one of these games. It was pretty impressive. Important goal scorer. And yeah, do you remember the expansion draft that Marchessault was a dump off by the Florida Panthers to the Vegas Golden Knights? Little bit of taste there as well, and a little bit of history. Let's see what Marchessault makes out of it when he comes back to face his former team in the Stanley Cup Finals. Then, of course, the captain, Mark Stone. Finally, he's healthy. He's playing so good defensively. 6 goals, 9 assists, 15 points go along with that. The most important piece for the Vegas Golden Knights. And yeah, if we talk about possible Conn Smythe winner regarding Vegas, yeah, there's a point with Eichel, there's a point with Stone, but there's also a point with their goaltender, which we will come to in a second. First, their deadline acquisition, Barbashev, 6 goals, 9 assists, 15 points as well. Very solid play, good pickup at the deadline. He really worked out pretty good for the Knights. And there's their goaltender, and this is the third guy I should mention it if it comes about the Conn Smythe, in case Vegas wins it. Adin Hill, who also, like Bobrovsky, was not the starter when the playoffs began. Vegas first went with Laurent Brossoit. Then he went down to injury, Adin Hill took over, and he was there to stay. One of 4 goaltenders on the roster of the Vegas Golden Knights. Brossoit is down to injury. Logan Thompson, the rookie, who, yeah, I think is in the top 10 in Calder voting. He is also not here right now. And there's, of course, then Jonathan Quick, who was the backup through the whole of the playoffs, and Adin Hill, who became the starter. Hill went 7-3 with a .937 save percentage, 2.07 goals against average. Hill was fantastic. And I think this is the first time in history that we see 2 goalies facing each other in the Stanley Cup Final who were not the starters at the beginning of the playoffs. Yeah, of course, everybody remembers Braden Holtby in 2018, who was not the starter when the playoffs began. This was Philipp Grubauer. But he became the starter and he was there to stay and he won the Stanley Cup. But who will win this Stanley Cup? Let me know your opinion in the comment section below. As mentioned, I will cheer for the Florida Panthers because of the great run, and they are definitely the underdog. The 17 against the 5 in the league standing. They went definitely on a fantastic run. Great players, great effort, great team chemistry, and they had to do that. They had to stick together 100% to overcome Boston, Toronto, Carolina. They did it the whole way. Let's see of the little bit of rust that is possibly there, because Florida last played on May 24th. So it was a Wednesday. Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final will be June 3rd. It's a Saturday. So it's 10 days off for the Florida Panthers. Let's see if there is a little bit of rust on the Panthers. I really don't think so. Maybe in the first period of Game 1, but thereafter they will be in the flow. Let's see if they can keep up their run, or if Vegas can keep up their run, because they are also pretty hot right now. Yeah, they lost Game 4 and Game 5 against Dallas, but Dallas is a very good team. And yeah, I caught myself for the first time rooting for Dallas in the series, especially when they were down 3-0, trying this huge comeback, which failed in Game 6. But it was a nice run to get to Game 6 for the Dallas Stars. However, I will root for the Florida Panthers in the series. I hope they win. I give it Florida in 6. Let me know your opinion in the comment section below. Game 1, as mentioned, will be on Saturday, June 3rd. Game 2 will be on Monday then. Game 3 in Florida on Thursday, June 8th. Game 4 in Florida as well on Saturday, June 10th. And then let's see if we go back to Vegas for Game 5 on Tuesday, June 13th. Game 6 in Florida, okay, is not listed in the app yet. It will be up shortly that when a possible Game 6 and what a possible Game 7 will be. However, let's have a lot of fun in the Stanley Cup Final. I hope for a great series between the Florida Panthers and the Vegas Golden Knights. We will see a new Stanley Cup champion, and I hope we will all enjoy this ride. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And yeah, one more caveat for me, personal caveat. You know that I will get married on October 7th. And yeah, I will wear a suit for the wedding. Of course, we will not go to church because we are both not religious. But there's a office in Munich where we have to go, and there I will wear a suit. But then for the party, I will wear the Stanley Cup winning jersey. Whoever wins the series, whichever jersey they wear in the winning game, whichever jersey they wear when they lift the cup for the first time, this is the jersey I will wear on the wedding party. Let's see if one of these teams pulls out their reverse retro, or it's the home jersey, it's the road jersey. I got them all, and I will wear the Stanley Cup wedding jersey for my wedding party. I hope your thoughts are with me. Thanks once again for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And see you soon when we talk a little more about the first game or the second game of the Stanley Cup Final. See you then. Have a good time. Goodbye.